Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Damn Fine Horror Hour. This isn't a second take on the live, despite what Instagram might have told you. This is our first attempt. We haven't gone live already tonight. Forget about all the hype you've heard, okay? This is our first attempt. And yes, my voice just cracked because I just went through puberty. That's how young I am, okay? Go live with Superficial Mel's. Maybe she's going to enter in an interesting way. We don't know. We never know how Mel's is going to show up.
I'm here.
She's just here. She's just here normal. I just started to redecide. I don't know. I decided to restart. Give us a fresh start.
This thing did not want, it was like no filters for you today, ma'am. Okay. And it just kicked me right out.
It just kicked you right out? Okay. I was wondering what the hell happened.
I'm not even going to, okay. Deep breath. What I was going to say is I was waiting to debut this American Horror Story sweater that I bought that has everything on it. At the bottom is double feature and stories. However, I almost didn't put it on, and we'll get to that, I'm sure.
Wait, what did you say about what's on the bottom?
Oh, double feature. So it's like a new one.
Oh, it does have it. Cool.
Yeah, it has, you probably can't see it, but it has double feature and stories underneath it.
And stories. Why? Yeah. Why'd they bother?
Well, I don't know. But I was like, oh, I got to have that. This was in the middle of me watching double feature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm going to save it for the finale.
Sure.
And it's going to blow everybody out straight out of the way.
Straight out the way. Well, I planned on wearing this like fancy glitter top because I was like, it's a finale party, y'all. Like we got to get hype. But I almost didn't wear it. But you know, I'm just like sending all the love to episode 5 for being the greatest episode.
True.
And thank you. I don't know. Can you see the comments now?
I can. It's
okay.
It's okay. The only thing is it's like over my screen. So if I'm making like a weird face or anything, just tell me because I can't see like.
Okay. I might not, though. It might be a cute, weird face, and I want to keep looking at it. So it'll be up to my discretion, I think.
I also have on my American Horror Story bandana. But anyway.
Very nice. Well, thank you, Abby. That's very sweet of you.
Oh.
She said, you two queens do the live entry better than anyone. But you should have seen the first take where I did say, I think I had texted this to you guys when we did our live last week, that like the first minute of a live is just pretending that you know what's going on and just vamping until someone joins you or you go crazy. So
for sure.
Yeah.
I did hear you say you were having red wine. I today
you did
straight vodka in a coffee cup because we got some stuff to talk about.
That's fair. Yes. See, this was all part of my plan. The fancy top, the red wine that, you know, looks like the blood that the characters have been drinking. And
I love
again, it. I'm just remembering episode 5. I'm holding it in my heart, you know.
Yes. Okay.
So I guess we have to get into this. Honestly, I'm feeling all day. I was like, if I wasn't doing this with Mel, like, I don't even know I'd want to do this because I'm so disappointed. I'm so bummed out with this, you know, part 1 ending. And I'm trying not to let it ruin the first 5 episodes because it was such a fun journey.
I know. I don't know. When we get to the finale, we can talk more about that because I don't know. I've had a little while to sit on it and it still hurts.
Well, you're sitting on it, so of course it hurts.
It's like
stand up.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like you fell off. Like when I don't know if this happened to you when you were young, but like you'd be going so fast on your bicycle, and then you would like fall and hit the T-bar or whatever they call that part in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, that's how I feel. Like,
that's very painful. Yeah.
It's hurting.
It does hurt. It hurts even more because the season was so good leading up to it. Yeah. And honestly, after episode 5, I was like, they can't fuck this up. I mean, it's all there for them. All they have to do is bring it to a nice little close. And, you know, I mean, given the fact that we're all assuming that somehow it's Death Valley, right? That's part 2, the title,
yes.
I think?
Yes, it is. Uh-huh.
You know, we're all assuming that Death Valley is somehow going to connect with Red Tide anyway, so it doesn't necessarily have to be the very, very end of everything. You know, there's a chance for them to bring certain elements back, but man, they shit the bed. And I think because, like, Also, a little behind the scenes, like this past week, we just finished covering episode 16 of season 2 of Twin Peaks, which is an absolute fucking somebody shit the bed. There's a turd in my soup. Please take it back to the kitchen. So it's just like seeing this episode now, I was like, oh, I don't even know if I have the energy to just like rip on an episode, you know?
I do. I know. Yes, I know. Well, listen, I got a little notebook here.
Very cute.
And it is full of notes for Mr. Murphy. So I'm ready when you are.
Okay, well, let's talk about the excellent episode, Gaslight, episode 5. This was incredible. Like, it's easily the best episode of Red Tide, but I think it's maybe the best episode of American Horror Story, full stop. I mean,
Period.
This is so well written. Like, just beautiful storytelling. It was tragic. It was poetic. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat for most of the episode. Like, I know people say that, but when I say that, I actually really try and mean it. Like, cracking knuckles, like sitting on the edge of my seat, going like this to my face. It made me cry. And then I realized I was crying, and I was like, am I crying about American Horror Story? This show's never done that to me before.
Yeah. No,
like,
I mean, period, best episode of American Horror Story I have ever watched. Like,
yeah.
And I say that without hesitation. I didn't even have to think about it. I was like, this right here, it made me so happy because, like, this season has been so good. We've been talking about this. It's a phenomenal, like, concept. I just love everything about it. And I was like, wow, like, we waited for this and they're going to deliver, right? And then you get the penultimate of part 1 of double feature, and I was like, wow. Like, honestly, not gonna lie though, after I finished the episode, I was a little nervous about where we were going to end things. Hello. At this point I shouldn't be surprised anymore, but I can't. I watched it like 4 times. Like, I couldn't stop watching it. I probably have the whole thing memorized.
And it delivers on a rewatch too. It's just as good every time.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I will tell you though that in cults, I had a lot. I think that's when I realized that I had like trypophobia, or like whatever it's called, where you're like scared of the holes.
Right.
Or, you know, like things that look like honeycombs and stuff. I don't think I realized until this season what a reaction blood makes for me, because like I can cut myself or whatever and I'm like, oh gosh, I cut myself. I don't know if it's the concept of someone drinking it, although I watched plenty of horror, like, you know, but there was just something in the beginning of this when Harry
the opening scene. Yeah, dude.
Squeezing out those bed rags of post-birth blood and drinking it. I had to pause and I was like, I cannot. I don't know if I can do this episode if it's gonna be like this.
Oh, it was so gross. Hi, Hear Me Roar. How are you? Yeah, dude,
girl.
like, I don't think that I've ever looked at a bin that says soiled linens and thought, that looks nice, but I'll never look at it the same way again after this. I mean, it's one thing to do like the placenta, you know, like people want to eat their placenta or whatever, to each their own. But the squeezing of it into those little cups, I think it was that motion of just seeing it all fall out that way that was just so stomach churning, but perfectly appropriate. Like, I loved the way that the episode kicked off with that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And good on them, because I mean, like we were talking about right now, I mean, the placenta is full of vitamins. I mean, it's very healthy. So I'm just going to go with the notion that post-birth blood is also like that. So he was really just getting his vitamins in. But I was like, this cannot be happening right now. Listen, I want to tell everybody that is watching right now, I have given birth. When I tell you, that my partner was like, I'm going to turn around and when it's over, two taps on the shoulder.
Oh, Scott.
Let me know. I also gave birth during the season of Hotel on a Wednesday night, and I missed that episode of American Horror Story. Anyway,
tisk.
So this ties in. See how I'm tying everything together? But
it's beautiful. What a bow.
So all I could think about was,
I've
I
been
don't
here.
know. I don't know about you and those soiled linens now. Oh my gosh. I don't know. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't mean to keep going on and on about it,
No,
but
it was such a
I
good
was,
opening scene though.
and I was horrified. Like, and
Yeah.
it's not like jump, boo, blood, like, well, blood, yeah, but like gore,
But
scare,
not
horrified.
gory. Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that's gross. You
Yes. Yes.
know?
But that was such a I don't know, it just really packed a punch. Like I thought that was a really I almost said brave. Like, oh, it was a very brave and controversial way to begin an episode.
It was so brave, so brave of him.
But I feel like they just came out swinging and it didn't stop from that moment. Like the whole
Absolutely.
episode just kept raising stakes, just kept doing more and more and more. And I guess I was thinking like this must be similar to like the baby blood that Belle keeps raving on about. Like I'm sure there's something really
Oh.
potent about it. And part of me wonders if it was if that affected Harry in certain ways throughout the episode because I have disliked Harry in the sort of anti hero kind of way. Like, I was still, we talked about this before, I was still very much rooting for the Gardeners at a certain point. Like, I wanted them to figure their shit out, get back together, be a happy family. But very quickly in this episode, I was like, oh, Harry must suffer. Harry needs to suffer so hard. I need him to go down. I think he was the real villain in all of this, besides Ursula, let's say, but we'll leave that for episode 6.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like, it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, obviously, gosh, I don't know. This is weird for me because I'm usually not like actually speechless. Like, I don't know if I can put into words all of the range of emotions that I went through in this one episode. Um, yeah, I, I hate Harry.
Yeah, dude.
Um, glad. No, I mean, obviously you're here if you've watched it, so
Spoiler.
this isn't a huge spoiler, but I'm glad that he is fucking gone.
Yeah.
Um, I will tell you this though. We know that taking that pill, we know what it unleashes inside of people, you know, and they get greedy, they get, you know, hungry, all of this above. But Alma, I truly, truly almost feel like, and I'm not even saying Ursula at this point, but Alma, if she had not done the things that she had done, though, I don't know if I just don't know if he would have gotten that way towards Doris. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like I know what he ended up doing at the end of the episode by just kind of being like, all right, well, have a good life on the streets, basically.
Oh my God, that part broke my
Yeah.
heart.
What else would he have been able to do? I don't know. But in these little moments throughout
Yeah.
the episode where Alma was just getting in his head
Yeah.
about, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, if he didn't have that there, I don't know if maybe he would have fought a little harder for someone to help do something to Doris or try to find something to help her. You know what I
Yeah.
mean by
Yeah.
that? Like,
Honestly, I wrote down, like, because as I was watching the episode, I was like, are we going to find out that Alma's actual talent is just manipulation? Because she played her parents better than she plays the violin. She masterminded this whole devious plan and it was so well done. Like, creepy and terrifying, but so well done.
I wrote in here, perhaps her talent is being a bitch. There you go. I said it. I said it about a 9-year-old, and I don't care.
No, it's so true. I mean, she was just as bad as her dad. Though I did see a lot of people talking about how like Alma is the worst of all of them, and I do bristle a little bit at that because like Harry is her father and could have stopped her from
Oh
taking those
yeah.
pills. Like especially after she bit her brother's leg. I mean, that's when you close up shop and head back to New York.
Yeah.
Sorry, but this is what I mean too of like, did something in that blood that Harry had at the beginning of the episode kind of put him on a path that was irreversible at that point? Like, we haven't
Mm.
seen anybody have that specific type of blood.
True. I mean, yeah, like it could have been like super, like a super, yeah. I mean, like super blood. I don't know,
Sure,
but you know what I
yeah.
mean. Like, yeah, I don't know. And that, yes, that very well could be, but I just, we, Alma, and we'll get to it. We will talk about the next one, but I am not happy with the direction they went with her. I
No, not in the final episode.
do not like. I didn't like,
No.
I mean, that's fine. Like, all right, she's 9 years old.
Yeah.
She's a kid. She obviously doesn't have any business doing this. I mentioned this on the last live, I think, where I was like, it's kind of like an interview with a vampire, where it's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
you don't want to give, like, we don't want baby vampires, or we don't want these kids taking these pills because they're too, like, radical. They're not mature. Because I don't know if the people taking the pills are mature either as adults, but, like, whatever it is. But I just, this episode with her, I was like, spit on you, little demon child. I could not, I don't know. Like, I was just, yeah. Anyway, I mean, and obviously I know it has to do with the strong feelings of like what happened to Doris and like, but
Oh, absolutely. Can I just say right now, like, sorry to
yeah,
interrupt, but
no, go
I
ahead.
put it out on our stories, but I apologize from the bottom of my little heart that I ever disparaged Doris in any kind of way, that I ever tried to float the theory that she was somehow involved in all of this. Doris was the best of us. Doris was just a sweet lady trying to make it through the day and check her Facebook, just like Alma said. But man, I feel so horribly for this character. I mean, Lily Rabb just like broke my heart several times. I mean,
Yeah,
I think I really started to feel a connection with Doris just because of her whole like, that Instagram contest really did mean something. And this isn't just a hobby. Like, I'm really trying to make it work. And I understand that just from a personal perspective of like things that I do in my personal life. And if you replace Facebook with Instagram, like sometimes that is my day, just making it through to dinner time and then watching some TV, getting on Instagram and like, woo, we did it, right?
yeah,
Like,
woo, we did it.
but man, and I mean, the gaslighting itself, I mean, we talked about this with that one episode in American Horror Stories, but gaslighting is terrifying. Like, that is such a hard thing to watch somebody go through. It's aggravating, it's heartbreaking, it's so many things. But first, okay, so we talked about when they turned her out into the street, which is like the final devastating blow,
Yeah.
basically, for Doris. It was very hard to watch. But I don't know if you got the same feeling, but there was something about when she comes downstairs and Holden is there and him and Harry are essentially just like shitting all over her designs. And then there's more gaslighting. They push her back up the stairs and she's just holding those scissors. And there was something about the like dejection and loss and confusion and helplessness in the way that she just carried herself back up the stairs that's the first time I broke down crying because I was like, this woman, get out of there. Just leave. Just get your baby and go, please. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that they did a great job of, okay, I do want to say this. Obviously, when gaslighting is serious, it happens. I mean, a PSA, it's serious.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But it happens and it happens so easily. And this is a really good example of showing
Yeah.
that it comes from people that you love and trust the most and you don't understand
Yep.
why they would do that. But it also comes from, I mean, political figures. It comes from, I mean, people in the media. It comes from people in entertainment. Um,
It's very pervasive. Like it's happening
very,
all the time.
absolutely. And I hate the season cult, but if it's one thing I will say about that season is that
Oh boy, yeah.
the gaslighting, that they did that very well, just like they did it very well here, meaning they
Mm-hmm.
really showed you how easy it is and you don't think it could happen to you. I mean, I know Doris the whole time is thinking to herself, okay, this is my husband, this is my child that I birthed. Hello. Like, why would they ever want to hurt me? Why would they?
Yes.
Like, I can't imagine
And
that level of betrayal
no,
in
no.
that situation.
That's a
You know what I
gut
mean?
punch. That's
That's
more
a
than a
gut
gut punch. Like that's
Yeah.
yeah. Especially when Alma was doing, which is just more of her manipulative, approach. But when she's using that little baby voice with her mom and she's like, Mom, I believe in you. And you see Doris get this like flash of confidence. She feels better. She's like, okay, my family's on this track. Let me be with my family. And then, oh man, when she comes out of that washroom and her hair's falling out, oh my God, it's like, the hits don't stop coming with Doris. It's so sad.
It's so sad. And I mean, also think about like I could because the thing is she was getting too close. And what I mean by that is they knew that she was getting to the point where she was like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna blow the lid off of this shit
Yeah.
here. Like what's going on?
Yeah.
And so that's obviously why, I mean, things progress like they did. But she's also a brand new mother. Hormones are
Oh yeah.
everywhere. I
She's
mean, like,
exhausted.
she's exhausted. She's trying to protect her child from her other
Harry
child.
stole her placenta, so she couldn't even, revitalize. Like,
I just, yeah, no, it's a no for me, dog. All right, like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just, but I'm thinking, like, she's also got that protective side of her. Like, she doesn't realize that she's being gaslit. Is that
Yeah, I think
right?
so. Yeah.
But she's also got that protective side of her newborn baby, and I don't I and it's like, and she's surrounded. I mean, Holden aside, but she's even Ursula. I mean, she knows Ursula very well, family friend. And you just got all these people that are just in your face, left and right, just like, I don't know. And also, I got a very bad feeling about where it was going when they wouldn't even give the baby a name. I was like, you're not gonna name this baby? I was like,
Right?
wait a minute.
Yeah. That felt very unsettling. And I thought that was maybe going to come more into play in episode 6, but obviously no dice with that. Hear me. Can you see the comments?
I can,
You
yes.
can. Okay. So
I'm
yeah.
dying
So
here.
hear me.
No one can hype you up and tear you down like you're. That's a 100. Yeah, it happens every day.
This
I'll
is
wake
why I will not have them.
I wake up
I'm
up
not
here,
creating something to let it
the
tear me
girl.
down.
I wake up here and I go to bed down here every single day.
Aww.
And I'm gonna tell you something. If he ever comes to me telling me he wants to play the violin, y'all might not see me again. Y'all
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
might not see me again.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I definite Damien vibes. Yeah, I mean, it's just, oh my gosh, like she's just this little actress right here.
Oh
She
no.
serves the looks like, you know, yikes. So
Oh
Sarah
my gosh,
Paulson.
yes.
Oh yeah, we'll get. Listen, we'll
Yeah.
get there.
We're like
Let
we're talking about the gardeners and then
yeah,
we are gonna get to Mickey and Carol. We're leaving the best for last, Jeff. Not
yeah.
to worry.
Don't
But
worry.
but yeah, Sarah Paulson's character, I mean, fuck. Oh my God. I
So
mean,
yeah,
actually, like I think I've said all I wanted to really say about the gardeners. Like this
yeah.
was a horrifying sort of, I mean, this to me felt like the end of their family more so than the next episode, honestly, because we do lose Doris. So
Mm-hmm.
um I did write down sort of jokingly, like, do we think Alma might be like Ursula's daughter because she's so much more like Ursula?
I mean, I just, oh gosh. The only last thing I have to say from my book, everybody,
Read us the
Jas-
novel.
Jasmine is very professional. She has a note card. She has everything there. And I'm
The
like,
cute
let me get this little notebook I've had for 10 years out and let me scribble down exactly what I'm feeling right now. So,
That's profesh. That's profesh.
um, I the okay, I don't know. I don't know if it's Lily Rabe or Rab, but anyway, she
Lily.
deserves
We're on
some
a first name basis.
Lily,
Just
yeah.
Lily.
She deserves something for this because I'm here to tell
Yeah.
you, I know that I said I wasn't feeling Doris and I thought something else was there. But what she evoked in this episode, and I'm talking about the paranoia, the fear, the anxiety, the stress, the confusion, and then the joy, I guess, when she was like, maybe I can do something when I take these pills.
And even when she's sketching everything and she thinks
Yeah.
it's really coming together for her, yeah.
Yeah. The heartbreak, the panic that comes back when she realizes that something is going wrong, and then just, I'm telling you, just her leaving that house. Oh, I might shed a tear right now. I'm telling you,
She did great. She was phenomenal. And honestly, like
it broke my heart. Like I'm sorry. Hold on one
she
second. I'm
often
like,
gets like really short shrift. Oh, sweet baby Mel's.
I am so sorry. I'm hormonal. Give me get a Subway napkin. Hold on.
Get your
No,
Subway
I
napkin,
mean,
girl.
I've
I feel
never.
like she's never treated that nicely in American Horror Stories, with the exception of
Yeah,
maybe, who is it, Misty in Coven and Apocalypse, I guess. But
yeah,
this, I felt like, even though the ending was so tragic, uh, it just unfolded in such a beautiful way. Like, you're right. When we first met her, it was kind of like, Doris. But then what she created with that character over the 5 episodes was pretty phenomenal.
yeah. I mean, I'm not. That was a kick in the nuts, and we can just leave it at that. But I'm telling you that when they closed with that, my mouth was wide open, and I was like, I cannot do this. Like, not this. You know what I mean? And I
Yes, yes. So Jeff says, even though you knew it was coming, seeing her in the graveyard was heart-wrenching, like a metaphor for her death. That's a great point. Yeah, absolutely. Seeing her in that graveyard. I mean, it essentially was, right? Like, there's no coming back for her. Yeah.
and what
And
a
the way that Alma just walks away,
ugh,
too, I mean, that really puts the nail in the coffin.
and some sort of unjust poetic injustice or injustice, poetic
Sure. Yeah.
injustice
Yeah.
was the fact that she was so paranoid about Lyme disease, and then the last thing you see of her is just her like in there like eating,
Yes.
a dead animal, and I was just like,
I'm a little angry about the Lyme disease thing, but I can let it go.
well, it's funny because I read some things because I was like, why would we go down this path if, but I think, I kind of maybe get this. A lot of people were like, maybe that was just their way of developing the character of her being this, like, well, she's paranoid about, Lyme disease. She's so paranoid about everything else. So, like, maybe, like, by the time you get to this episode, when she's starting to, like, you understand how the paranoia manifests in her and she
Yeah,
can't stay
perhaps.
level headed, but I was
Yeah.
like, I don't like that though.
I'm not a
That doesn't
huge
mean I
fan of
like
that.
it,
Like, I
you
mean,
know?
I think it works well enough that, like what you were just saying, she's eating that animal. She, on any other day would probably get, I mean, more than Lyme disease for sure. But the idea that like the pale people are sort of ticks in a way,
Yeah.
like they're feeding off of hosts and all that kind of thing. So, I mean,
Um,
it's kind of a parallel. I don't know that I loved it, but anyways, let's move on
okay.
to Karen and Mickey
Well,
because
I don't know if
wow.
I can do this tonight.
How many
I'm
Subway
sorry.
napkins do you have?
Hold on, let me check my stash. Okay. Okay.
I loved these two. Another couple of sorts that I was really rooting for. Like, even after Mickey took the pill, because he didn't seem to get as like vicious or mean as, let's say, like Harry or Alma or Belle. Austin didn't really seem to get like that either. But so, whatever. Basically, what I'm saying is that even after he took the pill, I still was rooting for them. When he was like, come to Hollywood and we'll be the power couple, I was so here for it because even in that flashback episode, there was something about the way that those two interacted that I was like, I think they can be their absolute genuine selves with each other and they're loved for exactly who they are. Like, I don't know that anybody else has ever shown them the kind of love and respect in a way that they show each other, or that they did show each other.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm sorry. There's something. Okay, I have this weird thought in my head. When we were in the flashback and we saw the evolution of the first pale person, basically, that did
Mm-hmm.
not happen overnight, right? It was a gradual thing. Why did it happen so fast with with Doris?
Because plot.
Okay, because I almost started to think myself because Mickey, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to grasp at straws that there might have been something bad that would have happened to him, if that makes sense, instead of like how he did go out, because I cried at that too.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a good thing though. It's not a bad thing, meaning what Karen did had to be done. It was
Agreed.
the right thing by
Yes.
all means.
Yes.
But I it hurt me here,
Oh,
okay? And
huge. Yeah.
I guess I was trying to rationalize in my head. Maybe he was going to turn into a pale person, and we just hadn't
Oh,
seen it yet.
I see, I
But
see, I
that
see.
wasn't going to happen because he had already written those things and had already like was going to be Speed Racer or whatever, like leading
Yeah, he was
Speed
already
Racer,
super successful. Well, he was like
getting
being,
there.
yeah, he was
Yeah,
getting there. Yeah, Jeff was saying it's foreshadowing for sure, her constant concern of catching a disease, absolutely. And then perhaps the pills progress, so their effects did as well. I mean, that's
true,
possible. I
true.
also started to think like maybe they do affect everybody kind of differently in that
Mm-hmm.
way. Like, maybe if you're, I mean, maybe poor baby Doris just really was that untalented. So it just like got to her right away.
Not a
It took
snake
hold
bite.
real quick.
Not a snake bite.
Whew,
You got
whew.
20 minutes to live. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're so
exactly.
untalented. Oh, that's so
Ugh,
terrible.
ugh.
Okay, all right, we're off Doris now.
But
Back
yeah, I
to
mean,
Mickey.
yeah, this was great. I will say I was confused and not super on board with the stealing the baby plan because to me, I was like, if this is truly Karen being like, if this is a true altruistic act in a way, like, why not just warn the gardeners that their baby is in danger? You don't have to steal the baby. I mean, it felt like they were kind of just trying to get them to a certain point where Mickey could basically peer pressure her into taking the pill. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I wasn't super on board for the kidnapping.
No, and yeah, I
Just
mean,
like from a storytelling perspective. Like, obviously,
yeah,
I'm against kidnapping no matter
we
what.
we know, we
Okay. Okay.
we know. I agree with you, and I think that listen, they don't have to drive it home anymore to us that Belle is bad. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
we don't need to know that anymore. We
Hmm.
got it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like, right. I really, I don't know. Like the whole stealing the baby thing, I was like, trash. You know what I mean? I was like, we're not going to go there. Like there's so many good things going on here. I'm not going to fuss myself with that
Bye,
part.
Abby. Love you
Oh,
too. Sorry,
bye,
Mouse.
Abby. No, it's okay. Bye, Abby. But what I mean by that is saying like I didn't like it, and then I was just like, I'm choosing to just not engage. I'm not engaging with that. You know what I mean?
I
I was
mean,
just
at least it kind of came and went. Like it didn't really go
right.
any war. It didn't go any
Ooh.
war. So, you know. It didn't really go anywhere. It was over pretty quickly, so whatever.
Yeah.
You and I were texting about this. Like at first, when Karen took the pill, I was so mad. And it was at that point that I was like, it's all going downhill from here because it felt like such a natural end for her character to die in that moment. Like, I loved the fact that she had such a strong moral compass. And, Jeff just brought up the comment, the cost of admission. Like, there was something about the way Sarah Paulson played this, the dialogue she was given, that I was like, I truly believe that this woman is so against these pills. And it was, I don't know, it was just really well played in that way. I loved watching it. And so when she took the pill, I was like, well, fuck you guys. Like, why are we doing this? But then all is obviously forgiven because what they had planned was so much more perfect and beautiful. And yeah.
Well, I mean, right now I'm just replaying in my mind just the like her and Mickey like in the car. That dialogue was so amazing between the two of them. Like you were saying earlier about we could be the power couple. Come with me. You're
Yeah.
talented.
What was it
You
like?
know, like
Penthouse parties and
I
power couple, all
know,
the
I know.
Hollywood
The
peas.
Hollywood piece. I was like, yeah, oh, but there's something about Mickey, and it's because he 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 was a straight shooter from the get go, meaning we didn't need to uncover anything about Mickey. He was like right from the beginning. It was like boom, like you know everything about me, right? I'm a hustler. I
Mm-hmm.
also, like I let this old lady feed off me if she gives me some, goodies or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I loved about Mickey and Karen too, because right from the beginning, yeah, everybody might have been like, woohoo, cuckoo, town cuckoo, but that's not what it was. Like you very quickly realize it's because she knows what's going on here and is
Yeah.
very against it and is willing to
It was a
not
genuine warning.
right,
Yeah.
right. And so what I think that's what I love so much about those two, and it's like just the genuine love that you could tell that was between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was very sweet.
And then I'm going to tell you right now, there are actual tear stains on this piece of paper. When she took those pills, or she took that pill so she could save herself, um, only for her to, slit her wrist and walk into the ocean.
Ooh.
When I tell you the tears,
Yeah.
perhaps that's why later on in the episode I was like, I can't do this when it came to Doris. But I was just like, too good for words. I mean, and I was sad about Mickey, but the fact that okay, I'm sorry.
It was very
prepare
merciful what she did. Like, I think that what she did was genuine. Like, when she said, I think I'm going to really help us both, she fully meant that. Like, she was trying to save Mickey from a life of just murdering and drinking blood. And, like, I mean, it's not really her choice to take his life, but in that way, I think it was an act of true love and friendship and all that kind of thing. And I did want to say, Hear Me Roar says, I loved when she took the pill because we saw such another great example of gaslighting, and the desperation just made sense. I totally agree. That wasn't like, I said peer pressure, but gaslighting would be another great way to put it. Absolutely. I love that you have that Subway napkin. You make my life so much better, Mel's.
Y'all are
And
like,
the desperation, absolutely. Like, I think our moral centers and all of that I mean, I've never been in such a life or death situation. I have no idea if I would choose to do something to keep myself alive. I bet you fight or flight would come in and be like, fuck your morals, bitch. Do you want to live? So it's not that it didn't make sense in that way. It's just, for me, I was like, oh, this would have been a really nice way for her to go out. And it felt very old American Horror Story for them to elongate her story in that way. But when we find out why they do it, it makes perfect sense. Like, Sarah Paulson is so committed. She's my queen.
Absolutely.
100.
On period.
Yeah.
I have to say that the progression of what ended up happening to Karen, though, I mean, Mickey, again, like, I was sad, don't get me wrong, but like, I was really pulled in by Karen because of the way that Mickey hyped her up about her art, and the fact that he had her art in his house.
I know, so sweet.
What I love is that the last thing that she did was go out onto the beach and make her masterpiece.
I want to know what it is. I so badly want to know what it is.
I hope we see it in some capacity. I don't know how it would play in Death Valley. Also,
right,
I just want to point out, we didn't actually see her die. I just want to make this very clear to everyone.
I mean,
first
I'm just
rule,
gonna say that much blood. I mean, she was the red tide, essentially.
I know, but first rule is if you don't see it on screen.
Correct, yeah.
That means that they can come
back.
Yeah. Listen, give me one thing, okay?
I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. I mean if they come up with a good enough reason of how she survived, because, I mean, she did it the right way. You know how they always say, like, the cutting of throats? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the music that was playing while she walked out towards the beach, and I mean, even that part was foreshadowed earlier in the episode. Well, you're not going to walk out into the tide or something stupid, are you? Like, or whatever Mickey said. But yeah, I mean, but she had this smile on her face that to me seemed like she had reached a kind of peace as well. So if she does come back, they better make it for a very good reason. Like, I was almost worried at in episode 6 when they find the body. I'm really glad it was the chief and not her, because I did not want Karen to be caught up in that shitstorm. Like, that would not have been good enough to find her body in that way. I like the way Mickey and Karen's story ended. It's obviously very tragic and heartbreaking. If she comes back somehow, it's got to be really good. Yeah.
Sorry, slightly off topic, but do you think they named her Karen because of that line Mickey said to her, not Robo, it's easier to complain when you're naked? Yeah, probably. She was a Karen.
Oh, you mean like, okay, yeah. Like, I want to speak to the manager kind of Karen? Yes.
That Karen.
That's hilarious, yeah.
Hold on. Gets a cell phone.
Karen. Yes. Yeah. Classic fucking Karen. I mean, she's the best Karen so far.
She is. She's the best Karen. I agree. Well, there's Karen and Mean Girls that I like too. I can tell it's raining. My baby. Okay,
Whatever. She's
seriously.
better than Regina George stealing my
Oh.
last name.
Well, sorry, I had to. I love it. I love it. But yeah, no, I mean, Mickey and Karen couldn't have gotten a better. Like, I'm
Yeah.
so glad
Truly
that
beautiful.
if they had to go, if this, because in the end, what ended up happening is if all of P Town had to be absolved of all of this that was going on, I'm so glad that the two of them went out the way that they did. I know it
Yeah.
was not Mickey's choice, but I am very glad that it happened the way that it did because um, it it is what he needed. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah. I
he needed
mean,
to be saved from himself,
both of them
basically.
deserved so much better. And I was really hoping, I mean, again, this is jumping ahead a little bit to episode 6, but I was really hoping that there was going to be some sort of commentary on the people that we lose who are never given those opportunities or who go out in these tragic ways because of all of the obstacles of life. And we don't really get there. But I mean, I'm pretty much done with this epised if you want to
Yeah.
move on to
Yes, let's
the last one.
unfortunately let's move along. Can we just talk about hold on, I will flip my page again. Can we just start from the beginning on this episode? No, I'm just
Let's just
kidding.
go back to episode 1. Let's do it all again.
Guess what? I don't need my napkin for this part of the episode or for this
No.
part. So
I
yeah,
mean,
let's get
unless you're crying like tears of disappointment or outrage or
oh
something, but it's not even worth it. It's not worth my tears.
it's not. You're not getting my tears. Also, you got 2 sentences in my notebook, episode whatever you are, 6. So,
Oh, I didn't take any notes. I refused to rewatch the episode for notes. I basically just wrote down from memory what I was feeling.
yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
pretty obvious that neither of us really enjoyed it. Um, Hear Me Roar is saying episode 6 is trash, shouldn't have happened, could have ended the story with 5. Correct. Jeff, I'm so sorry, girls. I haven't seen the last episode, so I'll respectfully bow out. Hey, totally understandable.
Thanks
I'm
for coming
so sorry if
by.
we kind
Yeah.
of ruined your expectations with our, little thoughts here and there, but enjoy the episode. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Bye bye. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll give Jeff a second to log off, but I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious how we felt. It was a disappointment. Kind of leading off of what I was just talking about of hoping that we were going to get something in episode 6 that would at least touch on or elaborate a little bit on, the people that we lose in these tragic ways. Like, what was Red Tide ultimately about? Because I did not get any final sense of understanding from episode 6.
That's a very good question. I'm glad you asked it. I don't know
You're
either.
welcome.
However, what I'm really hoping after this shit show
Yeah.
is that at the end of Death Valley, we get the reason why we got
I
the.
do not have my hopes up.
But I see. This is where
Kaya Gerber.
I know. I don't even want to talk about the one thing Cindy Crawford didn't do right. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Uh-huh.
No, I guess what I want to say is this is where it hurts me to be an American Horror fan because I can't cut myself off from it. And what I mean from that is I need to go into it with high hopes, or excuse me, without high hopes, but I need to also like I have this need inside of me to be like, okay, well, let me just give it the benefit of the doubt. Do you understand what I'm saying here?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. Like, I am still so excited for next week.
well, I'm
If for
excited
no other
for
reason
it.
than like new credit sequence, new story, we get to just like maybe start fresh, see how things are going to connect. Like, I'm still very excited. I just, in the back of my mind, maybe it's in the occipital lobe, I don't know, but I'm just like, oh my God, girl, like, do not get your heart broken.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I guess what I mean by that is I'm going to totally shit on this episode because it deserves it, but I want to believe somewhere deep down that we will be given a morsel of something at the
Right.
end of Death Valley that will make a lot of what happened here make a little bit more sense. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm very excited for a brand new thing. I'm very
Yeah.
excited to see what they do with Death Valley. But what I'm hoping is we don't get another 30-minute finale.
I mean, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. Not benefit of the doubt, but we'll say it was 37 minutes.
Okay.
So, yeah, but still, I was like, what is this, a half-hour comedy? Like,
Well, I'm
what is going
sorry.
on?
7 to 10 minutes of that was Ursula talking in the end that I did not want to
Yes.
hear. So you're
The
getting 30 minutes
narration was
from me.
so bad.
You're getting 30 minutes from me.
Oh my God. It's like I texted
But
you. I was like, it was sounded like the end of a fucking Babysitter's Club movie, but the Babysitter's Club is obviously 10 times better.
Well, but also I'm hoping that they don't do a 30-minute one at the end of Death Valley.
I
Like
really hope not.
that's why I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's short. Is it intentionally short? Meaning, boom, we're gonna leave you hanging off the edge of your off the edge of your seat about this, and then let this play out, and then we're gonna really knock you off your block at the end. I really probably think that's not gonna happen, but I'm hoping so bad.
But we can hope, and I think that's
Yeah.
okay to hope, especially, I mentioned it before, we're all assuming that this is somehow going to connect. That said, I think a lot of us, and by a lot of us, I mean you and I, people that have joined the lives, things that I've seen on Reddit, there were so many theories out there of, the twists and turns that might be happening. And like, really none of that happened. Like, this was not a season or a half season or whatever, a part of a season filled with many big, like, oh my God, didn't see that coming. Like, that was not this kind of season. Like, I did not get my Ursula with tentacles, which I am mad about, let me tell you. But you know what I mean? So I'm still even wondering, like, are we all wrong to assume that these are going to connect in some way? Like, is this really just two stories because that's what they wanted to do? Like,
don't go there, because I'm here to tell you right now.
I'll be mad.
I will stop watching. Listen to me when I tell you.
You won't. You won't.
I will.
But you'll threaten.
I will.
Okay.
Listen.
All right.
I did not watch Cult in real time. That's how mad I was about that. I refused to watch it in real time. I waited until right before Apocalypse, was that next, came out, and then I watched Cult.
Yeah.
So anyways, I do know how to hold a grudge, Mr.
Okay, I was just going to say, you do know how to hold a grudge. Okay.
Yes, I do.
Wait, that was a good line from Ursula in episode 5 when she's like, this is the longest I've held anything that's not a cocktail or a grudge.
Yes, exactly.
Great line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, she still had those tentacles. Yes, she did.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Hear me roar. That makes me feel better. It was like the figurative tentacles. Okay, all right. I like that. I can get down with that.
I do want to say, was that trooper in the beginning, was that the tall lady in Freak Show, and was that the one in Apocalypse that was like Mrs. Mead's right hand?
Oh, possibly. The only thing that I recognized her from was Glee. But it's very possible that, she was also in other seasons.
I really thought that, because I was like, is she?
Oh, maybe she was the tall lady. Yeah, that seems familiar.
And I think she was, because, and what I mean the other, she didn't have a lot of speaking parts, but she was like the other, like whenever Miss Mead would go outside. Got a fruit
fly in my wine. Sorry.
Not that.
Ugh.
Whenever they would go outside of the outpost, it was always Miss Mead and the other, the tall lady, and I think that was her. But anyways, that doesn't matter. But
I do not remember Apocalypse that well, honestly.
She literally maybe had 2 speaking parts.
Okay.
The main thing she did was hose down Evan Peters and Stu.
I feel like I should remember that. Yeah. I mean, okay. I don't even know what to say, honestly, except that I just really disliked it. I thought it was such a disappointment. That whole thing in the beginning, I mean, I guess it served the purpose of elaborating or making it clear that the town was in on it the whole time, essentially. Like, even if they don't know all of the exact details, they know that there's some sort of order to what's going on here, and they like it that way. I was cool with that. I actually kind of enjoyed that part of it. It's just when you look back and you realize, 30 minutes of an episode, 7 minutes of Ursula talking, of course, but like, why was that like that scene was long
Yes, it
for it to
was.
do that?
I don't know. I mean, probably, yeah, I know what, well, actually, I know what they were doing. They were trying to show, like, okay, y'all are really, like, off your rocker because you're sitting here and
Mm-hmm.
you're pretty much hiding, that,
Yes.
oh, before I have to get this thought out before I finish what I was saying. Do you know, though, I almost jumped off the couch when they hit something in that boat in the very beginning because I thought, this is my Jaws. Here's the big bad. Like,
Oh,
I thought to myself, okay, here we go.
here we
This is
go. Yeah.
this is whatever's out there that was killing the pale people because we still don't know who was killing the pale people.
Now I'm like even more disappointed.
And I
That
was
would have
like,
been so great. I mean, not
girl,
necessarily Jaws, but like I
right,
see what
but
you're saying.
you know what
Yeah.
I mean by that. I was like, oh no, this is the thing that's out there that somehow
Yes.
it's tied into all this because I thought such a great episode last week. They are okay. I like it where it's going.
Yep.
And then, I mean, obviously, I was sad because I was like, well, I was glad because they found the police chief, but I was also sad because I was like, okay, so that's not that. And then I was super, like, I went from this all the way down to this by the end of it. I was like, what are you doing? What are you
It's like what
doing?
your son does to you every day. Like you wake up here and you end down here.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the fact that this whole town is hiding this thing that, and they're all for profit, meaning they know that the people are going to come here, they're going to take these pills, they're going to tell more people about coming here. That's where they're getting their money from, yada, 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 in the wintertime. And then obviously the tourism comes in the summertime. That's great, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The absurdity of them looking at 2 shades of white and turning down that woman's offer to change the color of her shutters or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it was maybe to showcase that they were like, no, that that white is not white enough. But oh, and also,
I
yes,
guess so,
we know
but
everybody in this town is killing people. We don't really care about that. It's
yeah.
so stupid.
They
I
just
don't
wasted
mind it, but
time
I
with
don't
certain
like it.
things.
Right.
Exactly.
It
Given how
didn't have to
much
be like that.
Yes, given the runtime of the episode, it just felt like some of those things didn't need to be involved. Even the line about, well, actually that came later, but the line about Burger King, I thought was just like, whatever, like that's
I
not.
kept Burger King out of here.
I was like, okay, dude, whatever. But what was I just gonna say about that meeting? Ugh, whatever. It doesn't matter. Oh no,
Well, I mean,
it's the fact that they did find the chief's body. I appreciate that again from a storytelling perspective because AHS is so good at leaving loose threads everywhere, and at least the body was found. Like there might not have been an investigation that led everywhere, but I'm grateful that they at least found the body, and that sort of went somewhere anyway.
yeah, it was disjointed and cringy. I agree. Like, okay, the whole thing was just absurd though. Like, all right, we've got Chrisella is what I call her from Castle Rock. We got her back with her wonderful accent. Um, and then we've got Holden all of a sudden because I really thought Holden was only in town for the winter, but surprise, surprise, he's on the city council.
Yeah.
This ain't Schitt's Creek, okay? Like you don't just Schitt's
It's
Creek did this way
certainly not
better.
Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek did this way better. Okay, I don't know. And then it was just like everybody just laughing at. Oh, can't believe you would paint your shutters
Yeah.
off white. You know what I mean? I'm just
You
like,
might as well
stop
paint it
it.
orange.
Yeah, it's like quit,
Yeah,
quit.
it was a way too long scene for what they were trying to do. I can appreciate that they were just trying to establish the fact that everyone was in on it, but it didn't need to be that long. That's fine, whatever. I think it served a purpose too of like getting like Belle and Austin amped up again to go and take care of the gardeners in a way. What did you think about the way that Belle, Austin, and Harry were taken out?
Okay, first of all, first of all, um, Manny Koto, I have to say this, is responsible for drive-in.
Yes.
From and
Yeah.
after
He's behind the scenes for a lot of stories.
he is, but it really connected for me once I watched this, especially the ending of it. But
Oh yeah.
when I saw people getting taken out, or well, people meaning Belle and Austin, and then obviously the Pale people, whatever. I was like, this looks very familiar. It looks
Mm.
just like Drive-In. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like how everything like
It's
went
interesting
down.
that you say that because I think there's a connection from each episode of American Horror Stories to this season of Red Tide.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can just go into that now, but like you get murder house family vibes from this family. The woman is pregnant, they're moving to a new house, horrors start happening. Then there's the gaslighting. Obviously, we already mentioned this from the episode with Billy Lord and Stories. The guys from the bro house who would like do anything for fame, anything for success. Then the end of the episode and even the scene where Belle, Harry, and Austin are killed, it's like the mass destruction that we see at the end, especially the end of this episode and the end of Drive-In,
Mm-hmm.
similar mass destruction, and the government keeping secrets like we saw in Feral. So all of the elements are there, which I think is interesting in a way, but I don't know that it means anything really panned out in a way that was more than just like, oh, look at these cute little connections. Like, I don't know that it means anything greater than that.
Okay, so that's yes, I love that. I do. Yeah, I can see like after that I was like I can see all of this and I was like what was story supposed to be like this big like
Right. Like,
precursor to
what
like
was the
what you were going to
purpose?
get? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like this. So how did Ursula get the pale people to Belle's house? Let me break it down for you, okay? Because I was like, wait a minute, this makes no sense. So I did rewound that a few times. Okay, here's what uh, I think went down here. Ursula, first of all, this made no sense. This made no sense that Ursula could all of a sudden talk to the pale people.
Well, and that they didn't immediately just devour her.
But they don't talk to anybody.
No.
This is newsflash. Like
Yes. Yeah.
they don't stop when
They don't
someone
really
says,
hang
"Leave me
around for a
alone."
kiki very often. Like,
They
it's
don't
not really their
kiki.
thing. Yeah.
Right. So, but I guess, yeah. So, like, even her being able to call them out was not working for me. Okay. Next thing is she tells them she has these pills, right? And she's like, "Oh, these will give you all of your powers back. Whatever. You follow me here, and I'll give you your pills." That is how she got those pill people to Bells
Yeah.
for them to break in and take out and then for all the mass confusion to happen. And Ursula got these pills from the chemist. Now, this don't make no sense. I'm here to tell you. Okay? What I almost want to imagine is that the beginning of this episode through the end of it is in some weird way what Harry was writing or something stupid like
I
that.
thought that's
Do
what
you
we
know
were
what I
getting
mean?
from the first scene because we didn't recognize any of those people. Like, it opens with the people on the boat, right? I didn't rewatch
Right.
it, so I'm not
Yes,
like as familiar with this episode.
they
But
open with
yeah,
the
that's
people on the
kind of
boat.
what I thought we were getting, especially given the narration at the end of the episode. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, is this one of his books or?
Yeah. How did they all of a sudden eat them when they are usually repelled by people who've taken the pills? I think it was this. Okay. See, this is where it gets
Was it
muddy.
actually a new pill or no?
I
They
don't
faked them out,
know.
right?
Well, because the chemist said this. The chemist said this was a prototype pill, but
Right.
it made people act
It made them turn on
strange.
each other.
Right. So
Yes.
I don't know if she tested that on pale people or if she tested that on the
Right.
non-pale people.
Oh, okay. Or if it was just in the
I
lab test that she was doing
or what?
before.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But turning when she said it makes them turn on, I was thinking turn on each other like pale people versus pale
On
person.
pale
Yeah.
people. Yeah, right.
So
I
it's
mean,
very that
I
that is the only thing I can think of, and it still does not explain though why they don't attack people who took the pill and are talented. Why do they care? They should be eating these people because they have what they want.
yeah, I mean,
It's
I
frustrating.
think the
I'm
only thing they
sorry.
said before was that because they also have the vitamin deficiency, like it's not attractive to them. Like, whatever's happening in
Okay.
their blood, like they would rather have people that are, not experiencing that vitamin and mineral deficiency or whatever. But I mean, I wasn't super bothered by the idea that they got faked out by this new pill or that there was a new pill that made them turn on each other. The issue for me was the fact that, like, how is Ursula having this conversation in the first place? Like, it's built on such a shaky ground that everything afterwards kind of crumbles anyway. Like,
Yeah.
like, they should have just eaten her.
Yeah, exactly.
I
I
mean,
don't I don't get it. That's see, and that's the part, and I agree, hear me roar, because it's like, yes, that's where it gets disjointed for me. And I'm just like, wait a minute, I don't, because I don't I don't want to put too much thought. I love like thinking and dissecting these things in American Horror Story, but I don't want to put too much thought into something that I feel like should have been clearly explained to us, if that makes sense. Like this should have been clearly, I don't feel like it was. Like, I'm to be honest with you, I don't even really know. Talent is so subjective
exactly.
because so I don't even know how these skills are supposed to sniff out talent in
Well, which is why
people.
I think so many of us were waiting for this episode to fully explain, like, okay, what is
Yeah.
it? Is it actually a confidence thing? Is it an arrogance thing? Is there something else in your genetic makeup that actually makes it take you one way or the other? Because, yeah, talent is incredibly subjective. It makes no sense. And yeah, hear me roar. The pale cop in LA who just ran directly for the tourist. What made the tourist so special? It's also random. 100%. That said, I love what Angelica Ross's character was doing here. I was
Work, work,
all
work.
fucking for her, just like, because I have seen Angelica Ross do lives on her Instagram, and she's very outspoken about like basically taking down the police and like
Yeah.
abolishing that system altogether. And so I could see her coming through in that moment, and it did not bother me that it was kind of fourth wall breaking in that way, because I was like, you know what, let this message get out there to the
Yes.
masses, because it was a great one. I mean, not that I am condoning this way of taking them down, but you know what,
Right.
fuck
Right.
them. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but guess what? This I I like, because you and I were talking, and I like thinking though about what. So I guess we'll see. I don't know though. The things I've read about Death Valley seems like it's going to take place in the past, or something weird is going to be happening there, because
Oh.
someone, oh, who is it? Someone is playing Amelia Earhart, and I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, and there's the Eisenhowers and stuff, right?
Yeah, Sarah Paulson's playing one of the
Yeah,
Eisenhowers.
right.
So I don't know, but what I'm hoping is there's something when she, at the very end, when the chemist leaves with Eli, which also doesn't make sense, but okay. When she leaves with
Yeah,
Eli,
why'd they take that name? She could have given him whatever name.
yeah, so
Anyway,
I'm
whatever.
thinking, are they going to Death Valley? But she has done what the government actually asked her to do, which was to create these people for them to use, like kind of like in Jurassic World when they're creating like mega dinosaurs to sell off on the black market for like
Right.
weapons, like war weapons. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm getting all crazy and tinfoil hat right now. I'm like, this is connected to
No, no,
Jurassic
no, but
World.
I think you're onto something. And I think we talked about this in our last live where we were like, I think there might be more of a connection between the military angle than anything else. Because, I mean, we've seen already from previews that there will be a military presence, at least in Death Valley. So, bringing in the military angle with the chemist, I mean, that does feel like a natural connection. Again, I am very concerned that these are not going to connect in any way, but I hope I'm wrong.
I know. Ugh, I
Yeah.
don't know. Okay, so back to your main question that you asked me in the beginning. I, for once in my life, I was not sad that an Evan Peters character had to die. I'm sorry. I really liked Austin a lot, but I didn't give him a heart pound after that, like I did for Mickey or any of his
No.
other characters in the past. I just was like, you know what? Sorry, Austin. He did a great job at with
Yeah.
this character, but I just was like, cannot do it. also this dialogue, I understand what they were trying to say, but to me it was too meta in some weird way about the greed, the Hollywood. This is why they call it movies. This is the difference between a
That line
Hollywood
about movies was so
and
cheesy.
yeah, and like and then there's the talented, which are screenwriters and whatnot, and all of that. I was like,
Right.
Ryan Murphy, listen, okay, look, I don't watch your show to listen to you like go on these rants about media and entertainment and how you maybe feel about the business.
I mean, but
just
make
stop putting stuff out if you don't
make
want to
them more
anymore.
insightful. Like actually
Yeah.
make them more valuable though than just like they called them the movies. See, because they were
See?
movies. Eh? So
Hey,
that's
like
why they
that.
did it. They're
Hey,
not
hey.
talented. So fuck
I'm
off.
about to
Like
rip your throat out now. Do
yeah,
it,
it
baby.
felt very like old timey, like, oh, the good old days, huh? We could go back to the black and white ones. Okay. Like, I don't know. It just, yeah. I mean, I think like up until this episode, they were actually making some interesting commentary. So I
Yes,
assumed
yeah.
episode 6 was going to have some sort of overarching, like, here's why we were saying all of this. Like, here's what it's all culminating towards. But
I can't. Like, I cannot a step closer and the baby gets it. You hear me? You hear me? The baby's gonna get it, Harry.
this dame's
I
going to get
can't. I can't. Like, that is awesome. Stay where you are. You hear me? Okay. So I was very glad. Obviously, I know I can't. I can't.
this baby's going to get it.
Because all I can think about is this Francis Conroy just like.
Because she did snap at him almost like when Harry went to pick up the baby. I don't remember what she
Yeah.
said, but she might as well have said,
The baby's gonna get it, yeah. She did though, because she said, She was like, not another step, and a baby gets it. I swear, as soon as you did that, I was like, this part's perfect because it is so true. Like, they were, yeah.
oh my God. I think we need to do a reenactment in like a 1930s style with like little water pistols, like coming in closer, see?
I've got a fake mustache.
Oh my God, please, yes.
Oh my
So
God.
good.
I just can't. Like, it's so true. It's so true, though.
Hi,
So,
Kyle McLaughlin fan. How are you?
happy belated birthday.
Oh yeah, happy belated.
Um,
Whew,
anyway,
that had me sweating.
me too, girl. Look, okay, and I got pants on today. So anyway, so I say all that to say, good on ya. I'm so glad the Pale people got some sort of revenge against these
true.
two, because they are the one. Belle especially is the one that was recruiting for the chemist. So good on ya. I was a little sad that the Pale people had to go, but again, I was like, I get it. Like, it has to be done. Whatever is going on here, that's cool. Harry. I'm sorry. Got a couple of grievances I need to air out here. Excuse me. Hold on one second. I have them written down.
The airing of the grievances.
You mean to tell me that you cannot stop a 9-year-old that weighs approximately 60 pounds from tearing your neck out?
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
You may cross-examine the witness. Please answer that question for me.
Oh, I have zero argument, really. I mean, because it was so silly. Yes. As soon as his daughter said to him, it's just going to be the two of us. Sorry, Pops. It's just going to be the two of us. See?
Yeah. It's going to be me and the baby.
Just me and the baby moving on from here.
I just cannot. I was like, who did you think she was talking about?
Right? Like, it's just going to be you and I, and we're going to leave like, we need to eat the baby? Or, like, no. Like, Harry's stupid. Agreed. Hear me roar. After what happened with Doris, good riddance, Harry. Absolutely. Like, I am glad that Belle, Austin, I would have been fine if Austin lived, honestly. Out of all of them, that would be the only one. I think that's just an Evan Peters bias, though. I'm fine that they're all dead. I'm fine that the pale people got their revenge first, then died. But the whole thing felt very rushed and a little nonsensical, especially Alma taking Harry down. And I think it was supposed to come across as really terrifying because Alma is so strong, not only in her mental manipulation, but now she's like physically strong, maybe. So it's supposed to put that extra emphasis on just how damaging these pills have been to her. But it fell flat for me. Like it just, like you said, like it just felt a little ridiculous because she was overpowering this adult man. And had they done any work leading up to this to show that she was somehow gaining physical strength as well, like I might have believed it a little bit more, but you're correct. Like there's nothing there that makes that work.
And I mean, all I can think about to myself is this why they don't want kids taking it, because they're not done growing? Like there's just like, that's the only thing I can think of. But at the same time, like they gave us no reason to think that this child could attack and eat her grown ass daddy.
No.
Okay, that's number one.
I actually really wish that it had gone down in more of a mental manipulation way, because they had shown how good she was at that. So if she had somehow tricked her dad into, I don't know, like somehow led him to a cliff and was like, I bet if you step one more time, like you won't die because you're too cool to die or whatever. Like obviously better than that. I'm not that great at manipulating, but but something more along those lines.
Not The Good Son. You know that movie?
Oh my God.
Not The Good Son plot. You just threw
great Macaulay reference.
Excuse me. We just R.I.P. We just lost him in the last
That's
episode, and
true.
then you're
That's
going
true.
good. You're going to good son.
Too soon. Too soon. Too soon,
Jasmine.
So sorry.
Soon.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Not The Good Son. Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Okay. I do like everything that you have presented into the evidence here. I'm agreeing with you. Second thing about this scene. I'm sorry. Why does she have the filed teeth? She still has baby teeth. These are going to fall out. And then she's going to have to refile and get new dentures made. This is stupid. I do not like it. Please get it off my screen. All right, I rest my case.
Boom, boom.
I mean, it says bum bum. Honestly, that's partly me being silly, but also when she clicked off and had this is the thing that I don't. Okay.
I think it was supposed to be another. Like I think that was supposed to be a big moment. Like, oh shit, she went to the dentist. Like, I don't care.
Let me compose myself here. Okay.
Deep breath.
Before I really go off, because here's where I'm not understanding. There's so much missing that you need to. Baby fangs. I never thought of that. It's true. Like this is what I don't like. Harry supposedly never let her out of his sight, right? Unless she was with Ursula.
But I mean, he definitely got sloppy with Ursula and just trusted her to do whatever.
Sure, but where did we go wrong? Meaning, who took her to the dentist? Because if it was if it was never Harry's intention, because this is where I say I wanted to talk a little bit more about Harry in this episode. I really, fuck him for what he did to Doris. I don't like it. He got what he deserved. But in other aspects, though, it's like Alma did what she did, and then he maybe was like, I don't have any choice but to do this, although he didn't have to participate in the gaslighting. I am not defending him. But what I'm saying is if his sole intention maybe at the end of it all was to get out 5 years worth of whatever and try to save his family and cut the pills cold turkey and be done with it, why would she get baby fangs? Why would these things be happening? I
think that was done without Harry knowing. Absolutely.
But who took her, Ursula? But when would that have happened? Like this is where I'm not connecting.
It's rushed.
You see what I'm saying?
Was rushed. Honestly, like, okay, I've been trying to come up with an analogy to make this make sense, but like the first 5 episodes was like you get a project at school and you're like, I have so much time. I'm going to make this the best fucking project. I'm going to do so great. Okay. So you put in all this time. You're perfecting, you're polishing. You're just like, you're looking it over. You're checking the list. The first 5 parts of it are just so good. Mwah, chef's kiss. Then you look at your clock and you're like, fuck, 3 hours till class. You know what? The rest of it will speak for itself. Let me just shit out the rest of it. and we're going to be good to go. Like, that's kind of what happened. Like, they just were like, I guess if we do 37 minutes, that will be enough. And we'll just fit whatever we can into it. And they die. Give her fangs. That's good. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then make Ursula an Oprah type at the end where look under your seat because you're getting a pill, you're getting a pill, you're getting a pill, you're all getting pills.
I can't. I will tell you, I am here. Oh, hi, Abby, you're back. I am here for the chemist double crossing all of them. Now, I don't think she should have. I do not think she should have teamed up with Ursula. Do not like that. Not there. But I am here for her being like, fuck you, Belle, fuck you, Austin, fuck you, Harry. You know, like, because she made this whole elaborate plan where she was like, y'all need to get rid of Harry. Y'all need to get rid of this whole little thing that's going on here. When she had already, I believe in my heart of hearts, after she had that conversation with Ursula, she had already put a plan into motion on some level
to take that baby and run off. Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And for but she was so calculating and so smart when she was dealing with Belle and Austin, and I love that. But I love Ross. She can do no wrong in my eyes.
It's hard to not enjoy whatever she's doing. Yeah. Even on Pose, like, Candy was probably my least favorite character. I know that's controversial. So I did not love Candy that much, but I still loved her because I think Angelica Ross is she's just fantastic at whatever she does. But yeah, no, I was totally fine with the ending in terms of where the chemist ends up. As we've said, we hope it somehow connects with whatever's happening next. But I also kind of like the fact that Alma and Ursula end up together because, you know, like I joked before, I kind of think Alma is probably her kid somehow. Like, they belong together forever and ever. What else? I feel like we're getting really close to an hour and a half mark. So, I don't know what else you want to say, but
the only couple of things that I do want to put out there is, well, I hated the ending. I love but I mean, listen, this is unrealistic. This child cannot attack another violin. I love everything that guy said to her, though.
That was so satisfying.
So good.
Yeah.
He read her like, I'm talking about from front to back, back to front, and then through the book in the fire. She was done. But there is no way that she could
How did she drag him down the stairs?
That's what I'm saying. There's no way. And
unless the scene with Harry is supposed to set up the physical strength, but how could she be so clean?
See, it was that moment though, and the way everything looked so cinematic towards the end, it did not look that way really that much of the beginning, to where I started to be like, okay, are we gonna get surprised and like this be like the big screen of what Harry he was pumping out all that stuff because he was actually writing from a true perspective. So, whatever on that. But oh shoot, I lost my other train of thought because it just popped into my mind. Hold on one second.
Well, I will say you're right about that shift in things, because I like the color palette when we're in P-Town is so dull and muted, and like even the film feels different. And when we did move to like 3 months later or whatever in Hollywood, I mean, the brightness of it made sense. We're in Hollywood. That's kind of a cliche thing, but it worked. But I was on the same page as you, as thinking like, are we moving towards something where Harry is the writer? But we were talking about Alma. How could she be so clean? How could she possibly take out this boy?
And if I have to close it with one thing, this was what I was thinking, was how dare you, Ryan Murphy, after you do this to us in the last episode with Doris, how dare you, sir, have the gall, the gumption, the audacity to not let this woman be one of the pale people that comes into that house and have her eat her husband. The audacity.
Oh, right. Yeah. Why wasn't she a part of the group, right? Yeah.
Also, why do they hibernate in the summer? This don't make no sense.
Remember we even in that video we put out a couple weeks ago, I was like, where do they go? Do they go to the ocean? Are they ocean creatures in the summer? When I was still like moving on those gears, but
they don't like the sun. Give me more. I need to know. Anyway, But yes, if that's the last thing I have to leave on, is that you might get a strongly worded email because you didn't let this woman devour
Yeah.
her
That would have
husband.
been a highlight of the episode. That would have
That would
been
have been
some sort
great.
of poetic justice
So,
in that way. Yeah.
something good from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just so much of it didn't make sense. I mean, Ursula like mass, not
ugh,
producing, but like mass distributing these pills. I mean, that was obviously going to lead to some sort of destruction in that way, but how are they not getting caught? How is this not a bigger story? Because in P-Town, it makes sense that you can cover this shit up.
yeah.
But in Hollywood, especially when you're giving it to every fucking writer's retreat that you go and speak at as Miss Oprah Ursula, like,
So
how are you keeping this under wraps? So,
there's no way because and even the chemist is leaving all of us behind with the baby, what is happening here? I mean, the town is exploding.
so
And
literally
you mean to tell me
everyone
that
has taken a pill. And
that's what I'm
is it some
saying?
sort of commentary on like, there's not that many talented people in Hollywood?
Probably. Probably. But I think so. But he should count himself in that after this, okay?
Ooh, I did see on Reddit one of the like, I don't know what you call them, but like I call them a headline, said the
Yeah.
finale was written by a pale person.
Didn't I send you that?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Let me tell you, when I tell you Reddit got that man together about this finale, somebody said this was like going to a nice steak dinner on your first date, getting 45 minutes to an hour of good foreplay, and then 45 seconds of intercourse. It said 45 seconds of the worst sex of your life, and they kept their
Yes.
socks, and they kept their socks
Yes,
on.
and they kept
That
their
is
socks
true.
on. Yes.
Ding, 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 we got a winner. That was
Oh my
exactly what
God.
happened here.
Yeah. Reddit
This
was
was
pretty
written by a
funny in
pale
terms of
person.
this episode. Yeah.
They drag him. They
Yeah.
gathered that man like a
Yes.
chignon. Okay, I'm telling you right now.
Oh
It's
my
great.
God. Well, I don't know if you guys in the chat have any final thoughts that we can
Yeah.
get to real quick. I am good. Like I said, I'm still looking forward to whatever is to come in these,
Me too.
coming 4 episodes of Death Valley. I'm not looking forward to Kaya Gerber. Maybe she's going to blow us out the way. I would love for her to blow us straight out the way. I want to say like maybe the material in stories was just not there for her to
Maybe.
do anything with. Maybe the material is better here because given what we got in the first 5 episodes, it could still be great stuff that we get in Death Valley. And you might be onto something with this idea that like they kept it short and maybe a little wonky because there's more to come. I don't think that excuses anything
No.
fully, but it could be something. But
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I, I'm hoping that we get something from Miss Gerber, but I would rather see Paris Jackson again. That's my honest
that's
opinion.
fair. I mean, I'm sad to say goodbye to Macaulay Culkin. I
Oh
don't think he's coming
God.
back. I don't think Evan Peters is
Mm,
coming back.
mm-mm.
So those are all big losses.
I mean, big losses, but I think I read somewhere that Ryan Murphy is signed for 3 more seasons of American Horror Story, and if that is true, then I better see Macaulay Culkin in all 3 of those,
All three.
sir. I know ifs,
And
ands,
I
or buts.
need
You
more
pay
of a
that
leading
man.
role too.
Yeah, I'm gonna need
Yeah.
him to be something. Yeah, like I'm talking about, like his name is first on the credit.
Yeah. Give
Okay,
him his checks, get him his awards. Let's do this thing.
we want justice for Macaulay. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank
We
you
love you too.
all.
Hear
We
me
do.
roar. We love you too, Jen. Thanks
Thanks for
everyone for
putting up with
coming.
us.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
listening to our. Thanks for listening. See,
Hey, yeah. I'm glad I didn't have to poke you with my knife. Yeah.
I'm like still sweating from that.
One more step and the baby gets it. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Really looking forward to being back in 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
we'll be talking about the first 2 episodes of Death Valley, and
Ooh.
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it's good.
Oh, let's help.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. All right.
We'll see you then.
Okay. Bye. Oh, please. Okay.
All right, you
Maybe
got
we'll
it, kid.
You
Here you
got
go,
it. Yeah.
sweet
There you
pea.
go. Hear me roll. I hope you like a dog.
Hope you love it, doll. See you later. See you later,
See you
kid.
later. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.